Alice is a 38-year-old woman who is in Brazil for work. She is going back home to Paris and is going to the airport. Before going to the airport, Alice calls her friend Pauline, who is at work. Pauline tells her that Lisa has been working closely with their boss since Alice left. Alice wants to talk to the boss, but Pauline sees Lisa and Vincent going into his office and closing the blinds. Pauline tells Alice that he can't talk to her on the plane. Alice is bothered by a man on the plane who is being too pushy. At the same time, a teenage boy named Balthazar finds that someone else is sitting in his seat. The flight attendant then asks him to sit next to Alice in the first class. Alice quickly sits the boy down so the other guy doesn't get the seat. The guy just asked her to go out on a date. Later on, Alice gets a little mad at Balthazar because he's having too much fun in his new and improved seat. Suddenly, the plane starts shaking a lot and everyone gets scared. The teenage boy tries to get Alice's attention, and when the lights go out, Alice grabs his hand because she is scared. Finally, the shaking calms down and things go back to normal. After Alice leaves, Balthazar sees a flash drive on the ground. He is chasing after Elise, who wants to replace Alice at her job. Alice is mad, so she goes to speak to Vincent about Elise. Vincent surprised her by saying that Elise is a better choice for the job because she is more bold and willing to take risks, while Alice is too strict and doesn't like to take chances. Elise has been married 3 times to both men and women, while Alice got divorced 8 years ago and focused on her work. In general, Alice's boss thinks that Elise's confident attitude encourages people to think big. He thinks Alice should take a different job at another magazine so she can spend more time with her daughter. Alice is mad and upset, so she goes. At home, her old husband comes to get their daughter, Zoe, and then says goodbye to them. She returns to work and feels even more upset because she can't find her flash drive. After looking for a bit, Alice found a note from Pauline. Pauline left her a phone number to call. Balthazar picks up the phone, but he's at a loud bar with his friends. Alice says hello and asks about her USB. Balthazar says he has it and tells her where the bar is. Alice quickly goes to the bar. When Alice comes, Balthazar introduces her to his friends and says there was a mistake on the phone call. He doesn't have her flash drive. It's in his house. At the same time, 2 people Alice works with see her at the bar and are surprised. His friends quickly took a picture and shared it on Twitter. Balthazar takes Alice to his house on a pink scooter with Hello Kitty on it. He got the scooter by accident because the picture in the advertisement was not in color. We went to Balthazar's house and met his dad, who is dating a girl much younger than him. He tells what he thinks about a new show. Then Balthazar looks for Alice's USB stick. Alice says thank you and goes, but Balthazar invites her to have coffee with him sometime. Alice understands that he wants to go on a date with her, but she tells him that she doesn't go out with boys who are younger than her. The next day at work, Alice sees her coworkers whispering and laughing at her. When Pauline gets there, Alice asks what's happening and Pauline shows her a picture of herself with Balthazar with the title A Cougar. Later, Alice talks to her boss about something related to her job and he appreciates her choosing a younger person. He says he likes the new ideas that match the attitude of the magazine Rebel. Later on, Alice talks about this with her friend. Her friend suggests that she should spend time with Balthazar, be nice to him, and act like the rumors are true. Alice's friend tells her that in order to keep her job, she needs to make sure her boss is happy. However, her boss doesn't like people who work too much. Alice is not sure about it, but she decides to try it anyway. She puts on a more attractive outfit and goes to Balthazar's college. Balthazar is surprised and glad to see her there. He feels very excited when she asks if he can go to an art show with her that night. Alice and Zoe chat about famous music groups and Alice tries to remember their names so she can talk about them with Balthazar and have something in common with him. They got together at the show, and Balthazar liked one of the interactive artworks. Alice thinks the exhibition is embarrassing. When the artist Claude comes and asks for her thoughts, Alice praises him. But when Claude acts haughty towards Balthazar and asks for his true thoughts, Balthazar gives a very rude review. This makes Claude angry, so he goes away. They go to the balcony, where Alice pretends to be in love with Balthazar, especially when Elise sees them. Alice wants to bump into her boss to introduce Balthazar, who seems to be her partner. In a little while, Lee comes over and starts talking, saying that their boss can't come tonight. After Balthazar says no to sharing Elise, Lee asks Alice where she met him. Alice felt angry, so she quickly grabbed the cigarette and took a puff. Balthazar hears the word doctor when Alice gets a call from her sister. Her sister wants to introduce her to her gynecologist, Richard. Balthazar sees that Alice's daughter is at the hospital, so he stops a taxi and takes the passenger out so that Alice can go to the hospital. Alice was happy when the taxi left because she liked what Balthazar did. At dinner before the fashion show, she wore a striking outfit to impress her boss. who was also there. However, Balthazar makes himself look silly by asking loudly who Kimmel is. Later, when a model falls down, Balthazar tells her boss about it. One of Zoe's friends tries to take a picture, but Alice sees and leaves. This makes her boss think they went off together romantically. After Balthazar drives Alice home, he kisses her when he finds out her daughter is not there. End up in a difficult situation. Elizabeth and Zoe come into the house, and Alice acts like Balthazar is her intern. Alice walks them to the door and kisses him before they leave. A few days later, they meet Balthazar again. He makes a special effort to leave sweet notes and a music player for Alice before they go on a date. Later, when they were in bed, Balthazar asked her why she decided to go out with him. But before she can reply, he ignores his own question. In the next part, Alice is at a work meeting where Liz is in charge and has some rough ideas for the theme of the next issues. Alice is in the corner sending messages to Balthazar and laughing. The boss asks Alice what she thinks, and Lee makes fun of her by saying that she probably has boring ideas like armpit stains or high heels. However, Alice surprises everyone with a brave idea about going beyond stereotypes. She says people call her a cougar because she's dating a younger guy, but she's not bothered by it. She thinks they should talk about their fantasies and sexual activities instead of worrying about stereotypes. That night, Alice sees herself in the mirror and thinks about telling Balthazar the true reason she started dating him. She thinks it's a bad idea because she's afraid of getting wrinkles on her face in a few years. But then, she meets Balthazar and he shows her a really cool new building that he likes because he's learning to be a building designer. They have a drink together, and Balthazar tells her how much he enjoys being with her and seeing her. He says he is excited to see her when she's not around. Alice is feeling very sensitive, but she wants to know if he thinks being in a relationship is a good idea. She said she has a grown-up daughter, and when he turns 30, she will be 50. She believes it would be best if they stop doing this. Alice's thought is doing very well at work, and her boss is very pleased with her. Her friend Simon asked if she told Balthazar the truth before breaking up with him, but she said no. At school, Zoe got into a fight with another girl because she showed Zoe a video of Alice dancing with Balthazar. Alice's ex-husband is angry and he says she will have to talk to Zoe and sort things out. Alice asks why it's okay for him to date someone much younger, but when she does it, people think it's bad. He says it's okay for him because he's a man. A big day is coming to Rebel Magazine's office because Tracy Kimmel is going to visit. However, she doesn't think the man in the photo looks nice. She said no to other models, but now she wants to get to know the guy she saw on the runway, the one called Balthazar. Vincent likes the idea a lot and says he agrees. When Alice asks him about it, he tells her that she should get her boyfriend to model if she wants the promotion. Alice calls Balthazar when she's really sad, but he doesn't answer because he's feeling down and drinking after they broke up. Balthazar's father returned home and found many empty beer bottles and messy junk food wrappers all around. When Alice arrives at Balthazar's house, his dad gives him some clothes and pretends to be upset because of a girl. Alice doesn't think it was Balthazar. They go outside to talk. Alice is worried about bringing up the shoot, but Balthazar is not happy about it. On the day of the photo shoot, Alice keeps phoning Balthazar and telling everyone that he will be there soon. Simon says she should tell the truth to Balthazar. The photo shoot begins with Balthazar being angry at Alice. Then things get worse when the photographer upsets him and he leaves. Alice tries to speak to him and he blames her in front of everyone for the situation. Vincent tells Alice that there is a show inside her mirror. At last, Alice decides to visit him at his college. She's asking Balthazar's friends where he is because she needs to talk to him. They asked her to go downstairs, but a student got confused and took her to a classroom to listen to Quincy's speech because they thought she was a speaker. By luck, Balthazar is also there, and Alice decides to join. She tries to talk about buildings and changes, but ends up admitting her mistake to Balthazar. The students begin to clap, and then Balthazar comes down and asks Alice what is happening. She gives him a kiss in front of a lot of people. Alice went to the printing press to see what was going on, and she told Simon that they would need to begin again. Then she showed Balthazar her new book that was inspired by their relationship, and they kissed. The movie ends here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.